story time on how politics ruined my last relationship. So let me set the scene for you. I was dating this guy. We'd been dating for 5 months. And in those 5 months, I was told by my friends, Zoe, he lives in Indiana. He's a fucking Republican. I was like, politics don't matter to me. What was I wrong? And so I was like, it's fine. I don't care. I'm going to get to know him first. We'll decide later. So then we kind of start talking about it. I'm a very liberal woman. So I am obviously like very much everyone knows that I'm a liberal woman. My brother's gay. All my friends are gay.
Okay. The whole gay part caught me off guard. So that also means that if you have a black friend, you're not a racist? I'm like, bruh, just because you're liberal, that doesn't mean you have to have a gay friend. But then I guess if I have a gay friend, I'm a liberal.
I know that you're gay.
But anyways, so I would like always ask him, I'd be like, what's your politics? Like, where do you lean? And he was just like, well, like socially, I'm a liberal, but economically, I'm a Republican. Fuck that. Okay. I'm going to get to know him first. We'll decide later. Also, he was a 28-year-old man. That's the first red flag, because if there's a 28-year-old man and he's single, there's a fucking reason that he's single.
Yeah, I have a reason. Maybe he is going to a liberal school. Maybe he wants to make the right choices. And he likes you, one of the best liberal women. Isn't that enough?
No. But anyways, so then I'm like, well, like what makes you, economically Republican? Because like I could give you a whole bunch of fucking facts right now that prove that you shouldn't be. And he was like, all of his info is from his friends. And I was like, you get all your information from your fucking redneck friends. Obviously you can't trust them. You need to do the research yourself. And if you do the research, I told him, I was like, I'll support you based on your decision if you actually research it yourself. Like I won't care if you're a Republican.
And where are you going to send him? NPR? Where most people that write the articles are Democrats? But are not biased?
That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus.
And so he was like, Zoe, I have much better things to do than research politics. Like I have way more important things to do. Okay, saying that to me is absolutely fucking insane, but go off, king. I also just didn't care at that point. And so I kind of put it on the back burner. I was like, I can't fucking take this right now.
So to summarize, she doesn't want him to take in consideration his anecdotal experience. Okay.
Well, then we get into a little spat a couple days before election day, and we almost broke up. And so I was like, nah, it's fine. I'll give him one more chance, blah, 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 blah. Well, then election day rolls around, and well, actually, before this, he was not registered to vote. He had never voted before. And he told me that he wanted to vote in this election. And I was like, okay, cool. Do the research, but that's a whole other thing. And so the voter registration deadline was approaching. I could tell he was going to vote against me. Let's just say it like that.
The struggle was real.
So the whole idea that somebody always think you didn't vote like me, you're against me.
Politics don't matter to me.
Woo, I don't think that's right.
Voted for, so guess what? Let's just say it like that. And so I was like, he is not going to make an educated decision on who he voted for, so guess what? I'm not going to remind him of this voter registration deadline. So then it passed. He didn't register to vote, so there we go. It was saved. He wasn't going to vote. I wouldn't have to deal with it then. But then we got into that little spat, and I was like, let me try one more time. Let me see if he's learned anything from me.
You already won. You already won. You didn't want to win. You want to dominate. You want to be the only party.
I am more dictator than team player.
And I asked him under that little spat, and I was like, let me try one more time. Let me see if he's learned anything from me. And I asked him point blank on election day, I'm like, so who would you have voted for if you would have voted in this election? He was like, I would have voted independent.
Traitor. You are a traitor.
And I was like, do you know that how harmful and basically wasteful that is? And also like check your privilege by saying you're going to vote independently. And he was like, wow, Zoe, I cannot believe that you think my vote would have been a waste. Shut the fuck up.
You know what's interesting? Whenever she has to act like a man, I'm a man, she acts like a gay man. Like her brother and all her friends.
And my brother's gay, all my friends are gay.
I guess maybe that makes her a very liberal woman.
Because it is a waste. Look at fucking Philadelphia. All those independent voters could have put us over the edge and could have helped Kamala win. That's another story. And so I was like trying to tell him, I was like, listen, that's harmful. You have to make a decision because the way that our voting works, like the two-party system is a fucking joke. You have to pick a side. The independent party never has a chance.
Communism forever.
So you have to pick a side. And we got into a huge argument about it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. This is my last straw. Again, I'm a very liberal woman. Politics don't matter to me. I have to date someone that is on the same page as me because I can't disagree with someone on something that is so important to me for the rest of my life. I fully respect Republicans.
That's a damn lie.
I've never heard somebody say you are harmful, you are against me, but I respect you. I'm like, oh my God. The obfuscation is real.
And seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start.
If you respected Republicans, you would have respected your boyfriend's decision. You didn't. Even if he sounded gay.
Like socially, I'm a liberal, but economically, I'm a Republican. But for me, I don't want to marry you and I don't want to date you. So we ended it. And no regrets. I've been single ever since. It was awesome. It's been awesome.
I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus.
Well, I haven't done the research like NPR to find consensus. But when somebody ends a quote like that, anecdotally, I don't think they're really happy. But that's just me. I might be wrong. I'm not a psychologist.
By glances over at the car, and moments later they return and quickly start keying the passenger door with a phone in the other hand.
You can tell in the video too, like they're actively starting to record and they're recording the whole thing. You can easily tell this is a targeted, like there's intent there, and they, kind of a mockery of it, right? With all the recording.
Seconds later, the vandal runs off. The owners, who asked to remain anonymous, notice the damage about a half hour later and say since then they have felt unsettled and somewhat fearful.
You know what I noticed? This person was scratching the car with so much passion. Instead of using two hands, it was very important to record her. Because maybe later, after prison or not, they want to have the footage. Moral point.
Well, Sammy, thank you. And to all the young people who are here, I just pause for a moment and look around and look at, I'm especially talking about these old white guys who seem to disappoint us on a regular basis in this country.
Why did you make it about race? Do you think it's okay that I can go on stage and say, hey man, I'm disappointed that you're voting in this? Oh, wait a second. Obama did.
I'm in downtown LA, Skid Row, and I want to point out a few things that's gone on here in the past few years. In 2023, Gavin Newsom set aside $750 million to build tiny homes for people just like this that are surrounding by me. Somehow that money's gone. In 2019, they set aside $24 billion to go towards the homeless. Somehow that money's gone. It's unaccounted for. I want to talk about a few politicians from here. One is Nancy Pelosi. She's been serving these people since 2007. Her net worth is over 120 million. Another person here, Maxine Waters, she's been serving the people here in California since 1990. Her net worth is over $10 million. And Gavin Newsom, who knows what his net worth is, but we know he is building a $9 million home in San Francisco, California. Their leaders, the leaders of California, they failed these people here in Los Angeles and in California. California has actually been one of the highest states in America that people have fled from. Over 66 million people have left California in the last few years, and yet Gavin Newsom, he's out there holding a podcast when he should be working on his state. He might be making a run for it in 2028, and I hope people remember this that's behind me.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, overregulation is bad because it's cancerous, it sucks money, the money freaking disappears, and people want to keep doing it over and over, and for some odd reason, people keep voting for it over and over, and even some left-leaning people are like, yo, what the heck is my party doing?
We have to issue the notice of funding opportunity within 180 days. That's step one. Step two, which all 56 state applicants completed, is states who want to participate must submit a letter of intent. After they do that, they can submit a request for up to $5 million in planning grants. Then the NTIA, step 4, has to review and approve and award, again, planning grants, not broadband grants, planning grants.
And it's still at the NTIA. It's still at the first step.
All right, so the NTIA must issue a NOFA within 180 days. States who want to participate must submit their letter of intent. Step 3, they can request up to $5 million in planning grants.
Just planning.
Just planning. Step 4, The requests are reviewed, approved, and awarded by the NTIA, which currently all 56, 3 years later, all 56 applicants had passed through at least step 5. It took more than 3 years. So it's a long time. States must submit a 5.
I keep seeing it. Overregulation is just giving other people jobs that support the party that they want to support.
States must submit a 5-year action plan. So the states kind of go back and they kind of think about how they're going to do this. And they don't just say, okay, thank you for the money. We're going to spend it. And you can see how it worked out later. We're like, here's our 5-year action plan. Then the FCC must publish the broadband data maps before NTIA allocates funds. So having done the NOFO, the letters of intent, the request for planning grants, then the review, approval, and awarding of the planning grants, then the 5-year action plans. In between that, the federal government has to put forward a map saying where it thinks we need rural broadband subsidies. And then, of course, the states need an opportunity to challenge the map for accuracy. And you can imagine this doesn't all happen in like a day. Okay, so then the NTIA, step 7, has to use the FCC maps to make allocation decisions. Then, having already done their letter of intent, their request for planning grants, it's hard even to talk about this, man.
Goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy.
Because they do it on purpose. If a person that supports your party goes like, that's why it takes so long. Now it makes sense. They're going to call me right-winger.
Step 7 is NTIA must use the FCC maps that were already challenged for allocation decisions. Then, having submitted all this, I think this one is actually quite amazing.
Yeah.
Having submitted their 5-year plans or letters of intent, step 8 is states must submit an initial proposal. An initial proposal to the NTIA.
Stop. Seriously. Stop.
Then,
Is that the result of their $5 million planning fund? This
I
initial
assume,
proposal?
but then what was the 5-year plan?
And what the fuck did they apply for?
Nothing.
What was their NOFO?
Like, if the 5-year action plan isn't the initial proposal, then what's the 5-year action
Forget
plan?
NOFO.
Okay.
MOFO.
In other words, when you regulate it, let's regulate again. People, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. And I'm not laughing because I'm enjoying this. Because I'm seeing things that pissed me off so much. And I mean it, not condescending. Don't take it in a bad way. It just sucks. You can help people so easily. And this makes it worse.
Step 9, NTIA must review and approve each state's, again, initial proposal. By my read, we have had at least 2 initial proposals here, but that's a different issue.
This is not good for my brain.
Oh my God.
Step 10, states must publish their own map and allow internal challenges to their own map. So the government has published a map. They have invited the states to challenge the map. Then states have submitted initial proposals, and they then have to publish their own map and allow challenges.
Wait, who's challenging it within the state?
Well, organized interest groups, environmental groups, like I don't know who specifically, but literally anybody. This is,
Right.
I want to say something because it's very important I say this. This is the Biden administration's process for its own bill. They wanted this to happen. This is how liberal government works now.
This is something they instituted for this bill.
Yes! 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 It's, oh my God. They care about you. Investigate the plan. Then do it again. Then do it internally. I'm like...
For their bill. This is a bill passed by Democrats with a regulatory structure written by Democratic administration. Okay.
Right.
Step 11. The NTIA must structure written by Democratic administration. Okay.
Right.
Step 11. The NTIA must review and improve the challenge results and the final map. So the NTIA has put forward a map. The states have challenged that map. Then the states have put forward their maps, had other challenges. And now the NTIA must review and approve the challenges to the state maps. Okay. So we've done step 11. NTIA must review and approve challenge results and final map. We've lost 9 of the applicants at that point. Step 12. States must run a competitive sub-granting process.
Oh my fucking God. At step 12, after all this has been done.
Yeah, none of that could have happened along the way here. We have now lost 17 more applicants. So now 30 of 56 have completed step 12.
I don't know.
Step 13, states must submit a final proposal. This all the proposals weren't enough to NTIA. Now that goes to 3 of 56. So we've gone in the last couple steps from 56 had gone to this point to 3 of 56. Step 14, the NTIA must review and approve the state's final proposal. And that is 3 of the 56 jurisdictions and states are there. In summary, states are nearly at the finish line. And it says to stop their progress now, or worse, to make them go backwards, would be a stick in the spokes of the most promising broadband deployment plans we have ever seen. End scene.
I'm speechless, Ezra. Honestly, like, it's far worse than I could have imagined. But the fact that they amputated their own legs on this.
And if Doge comes to do an audit to find tax fraud or waste, we're gonna scratch your car.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush hash purple skunk, criollo colombici jam jam, durloketa berdetta welcome.